Welcome back, everyone. As usual, we are two dudes talking 80s. I'm John. That's my partner in crime, Lewis.
You didn't rip off my hello.
I did it once. Come on. I got to keep it fresh. Um, as you guys, if anyone ever watches this, knows we love everything 80s, but there are those embarrassing things about the 80s that we don't like to admit. And we're going to talk about some of those and bring them out in the open. So don't judge us, okay? Or we're going
Calvin
to judge
Klein
you.
underwear.
Huh? All right. Well, you guys show it off now. Anyway, so we're talking about 80s songs that we're embarrassed to admit that we like. Probably back in the day, we would not say anything to our friends about this, but if we were alone in the car and it came on the radio, we'd crank it up and sing our hearts out to it. And we're going to talk about some of those. And I think when I'm done, I will lose my cool guy card if I ever had one, because I got some embarrassing stuff I'm going to talk about. But you know what? Let's share the wealth. I'm going to let you go first, Lewis, and embarrass yourself.
Excellent. All right. First on my list is a song by the Timex Social Club called Rumors. And again, John sort of referencing what we had talked about earlier, me being Mr. Heavy Metal guy and didn't listen to anything but heavy metal. If my friends had found out that I was into that song, it would have been very shameful. Again, another one of those songs I totally associate with that club in San Jose called Mothers when you're, super young, and just brings back all kinds of memories. I still love that song.
I love that song too. And it was funny because we had talked about the other day. I didn't know you were going to include it on your list. And of course, I was going to Hollywood for something. And they started playing that. And I've always loved that song. I thought it was a great song.
Yeah, definitely a great song. Definitely not one of the ones that I admit to my leather-clad heavy metal brothers saying, yeah, that's the rockin' song, crank it up.
Well, I'm going to go really schmaltzy, really embarrassing.
Schmaltzy.
Schmaltzy. It's a word. Look it up. It was so good. It was recorded twice in the 80s that I know of. Once in 82 by Rod Stewart and once in 85 by Dionne Warwick. That's what friends are for.
Wow.
And yeah, I was in the soundtrack for Night Shift. I love both versions. I mean, it's a saccharine song. It's obviously supposed to garner some sort of emotions, and it works for me. It's one of those songs that I can hear it and I'll crank it up. I still love it. And embarrassed that I love it so much because again, you can tell they're just trying to pull that emotion out of you, and it's schmaltzy as could be. I'm gonna say it twice. This will be our new drinking game. Every time we say schmaltzy in this episode, take a drink because there's not gonna be many iconics today. But yeah, so that's one of my embarrassing 80s songs that I definitely love, and I would never have told anybody about that.
Definitely a good embarrassing 80s song, John. The Rod Stewart version I actually like. The Dionne Warwick and I think Elton John, and I'm trying to think of the third person that was in there.
Stevie Wonder is on it
Stevie
too.
Wonder, that's right.
Yeah, it's mostly credited with Dionne Warwick.
But that one I never cared for. I never cared for Dionne Warwick. She really bugged me on Solid Gold, and it just went downhill from there.
I see. That's embarrassing. You're admitting you're watching Solid Gold.
Religiously.
Fun fact: my wife actually went to a taping of Solid Gold once. I think when Andy Gibb was the host.
Oh wow, that would have been really cool. I would have really dug that.
So, yeah, don't just that's what friends are for. It's just one of those songs you play. You want to be next to your best friend and put your arm around them and just sway side to side, and that's the emotion it brings out on me. But again, it kind of was hard to tell people that I really wanted to hear that song.
Very cool. Very good embarrassing one. My next embarrassing one, it's one that I actually didn't like in the 80s very much, but now when it comes on the radio, I like it, and I'm still embarrassed to say that I like it even now, and that's Tacos Putting on the Ritz. There's something very show tuney about it, and I think that's what's embarrassing about it. But it's a cool, happy tune, and yeah, if I'm listening to it in the car, it's being cranked up.
That's a good one. Yes, that's an embarrassing song to admit to liking too. Um, I can go either way with that song, to be honest. There's sometimes I'll hear it on the radio and I'll let it play, and other times I can't handle it. It's gotta go. Dun, 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 dun. You know, I feel like somebody should have a cane and be dancing around, swinging it around like in a tuxedo. Maybe that was the video. I don't know, dude. I don't remember the video,
It's
but
the dancing frog from Warner Brothers. That's what it reminds me
there
of.
you go. That actually works. I like that. What was it? Jay Frog wasn't his name?
I
The
don't remember what
original.
his name was.
Come on, man. You gotta know this stuff. All right. I'm gonna stay in the schmaltzy area, so go again. Um, we recently, God, it's funny. We talked about soundtracks, and here's my, the last episode, and here's my second soundtrack. Because I didn't enjoy the soundtrack, but I love this song. I've had the time of my life. Bill
Nice.
Medley, Jennifer Warnes, from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. Um, Again, I would never have admitted to anybody that I liked the song, but man, if it came on, boom, cranked up. And then, they used to before we had, a pandemic. Every year, once a year, they would have this '80s prom out in Hollywood, and it was always a really good time. I went like 2 or 3 years in a row. And one time they always had the same band. I don't think they live around here. I think they would come out and perform for that because I've never seen them around town, or I'd go see them more often.
Hmm.
I want to say they're Young Guns. I think that's the name of the band. They play these cover tunes. So I'd seen them a couple times, and the last time I saw them, they actually brought out a female singer, and the last song they did of the night was "I've Had the Time of My Life." And yeah, it was impressive, and love that song. Schmaltzy as hell, but love it. It works for me.
Definitely schmaltzy. Uh, I
Sorry if people become alcoholics after this.
It's a good pick. It's a good song, and it's definitely one that I wouldn't readily admit that I like because it is so sort of sappy. But it is a good tune. It's very catchy, and just it reminds you of the movie, right? I mean, it's like the tune that we talked about last time with Fast Times by Jackson Brown. What title I couldn't remember, and I still can't remember right
Buddy's
now.
baby.
Thank you. But it's the same kind of thing, right? As soon as you hear that song, that's, at least for me, immediately what pops in my head is the scene of the movie where he's holding her up, over his head and stuff.
Well, and by the way, when you come out here, we're gonna recreate that. So just so you know.
Okay, I'm hoping I'm on top.
If I had $1 for every time I heard that from you, let's move on, shall we?
All right, the next one that I've got, let's see, it is Murray Head's. Come on, finish it for me, John. What's that?
Bangkok?
Yes, One Night in Bangkok. That is one that I've always liked. It's just, I really like the sound production on it. It sounds really, really wide. They did a really good job in the engineering of it. And again, it's sort of a show tune. I actually think it's from some sort of a play that they used called Chess, but very catchy tune. Really, really like the song. Really like the fact that, and I think I mentioned this in one of the other episodes, that the two guys from ABBA had a hand in helping write it. So that's my next embarrassing song.
All right. Well, I don't think it's that embarrassing, to be honest, but I could certainly see why I wouldn't admit that to, the people that spent their weekends going to Ruthie's Inn to see Exodus. So, yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I've been kind of, dipping my toes in the water with the embarrassment, and now I'm gonna jump right in. Oh, 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 oh. Oh.
Oh no.
Yes, you got it. You've got the right stuff, baby. Yeah, 1989's New Kids on the Block. Yeah, I mean, I used to despise New Kids on the Block, and and they had the stupid marbles and everything had to have New Kids on the Block on it. But not gonna lie, that song would come on and you know, I turn it up, and if I was rolling up next to somebody, I turn it down or switch the station because I was so embarrassed that I got into it. But oh yeah, I would sing that with full on, and you know, it's embarrassing. It
Y-
really is.
I
I'm
could see where
embarrassed
it
to
would
say
be.
it now. To be honest, we'll edit this out later, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty bad one. Good for
Yeah.
this episode,
Thanks.
obviously, but that's yeah, that's a hard one to admit. Uh, any of the stuff that came from the Backstreet Boys, I think I would be embarrassed to admit.
But that was '90s.
I'm sorry, not. Yeah, you're right.
Are you talking New
new
Kids on the
new kids
Block
on the
still?
block. Thank you.
All right.
But
Get
sorry,
you back on track.
I'm
How
missing
is
the
it?
alcohol to
How
keep
is
me
it
on
you do
track.
better on the drinking episodes and keeping it together, and when we do it in the afternoon, you're totally sober. You do this, and I mistook New Kids for the Block for NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. Come on, Lou.
All those boy bands just blur together. But yes, new kids on the block, and yeah, any of this stuff was just bad. Let me see, what's my next one here? Okay. Mainly from the title of the song is the embarrassment part. The song is also sort of embarrassing. I want to say it's a bit of a departure for the band, but they were so all over the place that that's probably not an accurate statement. I'm talking about Queen's Radio Gaga. And when it came out, I hated it. I just thought it was just ridiculous. Oh, Radio Gaga, what a stupid name and stupid chorus, and the whole synth. It's like, oh God, this is stupid. I listen to it now. I love it. It's a really catchy tune, and yeah, now it's awesome.
See, that was another song that I didn't really care for. Honestly, I don't feel like I learned to appreciate it until the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out. And then I kind of fell for it. You know, that and I Want to Break Free was another one.
That's another good one.
And I think that was more embarrassing because of the video than it was, based upon the actual song. I mean, when you're dressing in drag and you won't shave your mustache, come on, I can't buy that. You
Oh,
know,
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
you either go in or don't go in at all. That's my thought process.
The part that got me from that video, I mean, the mustached women was definitely a problem, but the part that really clinched it for me, where was Freddie was dressed in like this one piece leotard thing, and he was on this conveyor belt of men that are rolling, and he lays on them and he rolls across the men. I'm all like, wow, okay, yeah, just wow, no words.
It did render you rather speechless. But again, how long would it have taken him to grow that mustache out? He could have shaved it for that.
He could have.
Come
It would have
on.
been back in like a week.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I would know, but hey. Um, I'm gonna go back to Schmaltzy.
You schmaltzy, baby.
No, this is again, this is a really embarrassing one because really, should you be taking love advice from a 14-year-old girl or however old she was at that time? And Debbie Gibson, Lost in Your Eyes. Um, not gonna lie, I have the cassette single for Lost in Your Eyes, and I'm so bummed I packed it away. I know it's here in the house, but I did not have time to look for it, or I would do my show and tell like you so frequently do, and show that yes, I still am the person in possession of a Debbie Gibson Lost in Your Eyes cassette single, and I'm
Wow.
not giving it up. See, I couldn't even listen to that one in the car. I had to listen in the privacy of my own home, knowing that no one was around to hear me listening to that.
You know what, Debbie Gibson again. It's one of those same things as the Backstreet. No, there I go with the Backstreet Boys again with
Apparently,
New
you have
Kids on.
them on your mind, Lewis. Come on now.
uh, I got something to say about that, but I'm just not going to go there.
Please don't.
So new Kids on the Block. It's the same type of thing, right? It was just super ultra bubblegummy, and it was very hard to admit. Debbie Gibson was actually very, very good, very talented songwriter, and for her to do what she did at the age that she did was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm still not owning that. I'm just gonna go with I love that song, and it's an embarrassment to me because I didn't hear you including Debbie Gibson and going, "Hey, I rock Debbie Gibson." No, you did not. You went with Queen,
I went with
like one of
Queen.
the most iconic bands in the world, and I'm pulling out Debbie Gibson.
Well, Debbie Gibson is definitely the better pick, in my opinion. That would be much harder to admit than the Queen. So I'm with you on that. You're up ahead of me on this one.
All right, I need you to bare your soul, Lewis, because I just feel like you're holding back. You're hiding behind those sunglasses, and the cool guy, kind of embarrassing, kind of not picks. Very safe. I need you to embarrass yourself. So I think you got one left. So make it good. Make this count.
Okay, this isn't even on my list. I hadn't even thought about this one until you and I started talking about it. And I'm hoping to God it's not one that I'm going to step on that's yours. So this one's very near and dear to both of our hearts.
Hey, why do you time me out? Don't add me into this.
Oh yeah, no. There's a story behind this one,
Oh God.
and I can't remember if we have actually already discussed it. But I'm going to go with Krista Berg's "Lady in Red," and I hadn't even thought about this one. And it is a cool tune. I didn't care about it very much in the 80s, but there was this one time that you and I were in your truck and you were like in this weird ass mood and you're just like totally into it. It was like a Friday night or something. We're getting ready to go out to dinner or something. And the line from the song "Cheek to Cheek" comes up and you reach over and you pinch my butt. And again, so now it's I don't see you really laughing a lot on this one, John.
I love how this was supposed to be your embarrassment. Somehow it turned completely on to me.
But anyway, it is a very schmaltzy
Well, see.
schmaltzy tune. Um, and wouldn't be one that I would admit that I liked. Definitely, even now with the story behind it, but even more so. But it is one that's very near and dear to my heart because it's a memory that I'll never ever forget.
That's good to know. I actually, I saw him perform in Greece, in this outdoor amphitheater in Greece. So you could just look across and see the Acropolis in the background. And it was a great performance. This had to be in like the early 90s. And my buddy took me to see it. And I got to say, it was such a cool experience. Um, and he finished with the Beatles tune and, kind of like walked off stage, like slowly started, ending the tune, and everyone walked off stage and the crowd kept going and singing the song. And just amazing. It was a great performance, just a beautiful atmosphere. And see, I wouldn't be the least bit embarrassed by that song. So,
All right, all right.
all right. So you leave it to me to do all the embarrassment, including the stories you bring up. So thank you for that. Um, this is a song that came out. I hate to admit that I love it. I hate to admit that I love the entire album. And the two guys that were supposedly the singers on it didn't do any of the vocals. And I'm talking "Girl, You Know It's True," 1989, Milli Vanilli from the same album.
Super,
Um,
super pick.
exactly. See, this is how you do it. This is how you bare your soul, Lewis. This is honesty. Okay, this is what you need to be. All right, we're two dudes talking 80s. We can open up. We can let our guard down. We can let in our embarrassment. But yeah, "Girl, You Know It's True." Soapbox down. "Girl, You Know It's True." It's one of those songs that it's fantastic. I don't care who performed on it, but it's a great song. Yes, the videos were embarrassing, especially the slow motion. Jump
Chest
up and
bumps.
cut the chest, like with those spandex pants that were like 3/4 length, and then the shoes, and embarrassing. But just the song on its own merit, you take away all the controversy. They did sing on it, they didn't sing on it. I still think it's a great song, and probably would never admit to anybody until now. I think I admitted to you though, but yeah, girl, you know it's true would be my final embarrassment.
That's a fabulous pick. I own that CD actually, and you're 100% right. I don't care if they didn't sing the song, the performers, just it's a really, really great song. And I know that they actually tried to come out. I didn't try to come out. They came out with a second CD of the actual people that did the music on the initial one. And there's one song on there that actually is very, very good as well. It's a slower song. I own that one as well. Um, but
Did it
to
come
your,
out under the name Milli Vanilli or?
I think it said like the new Billy Millie or Billy. Oh Jesus, Millie Vanilli or the real Millie Vanilli. I'll have to go look for it. It's been years since I've looked at it. Um, but yeah, it's really great musicianship, really great songwriting, and again, setting aside the whole lip syncing fiasco, it was a very, very cool tune. It still is.
Well, it's funny because they had the controversy with them, and then I think it was a year or two later with the CNC Music Factory, with "Gonna Make You Sweat," and they had that Asian girl that was in the video, and obviously she didn't sing, and that became another controversy about it. Um, and again, if you've ever seen the movie Fear of a Black Hat, Fear of a Black Hat, for those who haven't seen it, is like the early rap version of This Is Spinal Tap, and it's also hysterical. I think that came out in late 80s, early 90s, and they kind of parodied that for a minute where, they had, I think the song was Party in Your Pussy or something like that. And they had, this little Asian girl and the party in your pussy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they're interviewing her. Kurt Loder's interviewing her, and she's like, "No, no, I sing black like Paula Abdul." Great scene, great movie. And yeah, I don't care who performed on it. It's a great song, but yes, admittedly, those videos were very cringeworthy, but I'll still own it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, John, you came out with some amazing picks. This one and last episode, you just completely bettered me. I'm surprised that we didn't step on each other. I really thought that there were going to be some that we're going to have duplicated, duplicate.
Going back to the drinking episode,
Absolutely, man.
we
That's the
do
missing
better.
element right here.
I the one I really thought you were gonna hit was, I didn't think you were gonna hit any of these except for, I thought maybe the Milli Vanilli one. I thought maybe you'd go there, and I have a couple others that didn't quite make the cut, but I try to include the most embarrassing ones I could think of. And sadly, a lot of the stuff that I found embarrassing was like just right on the cusp, like 1990. So Vanilla Ice, You Got Saved, MC Hammer, those kind of songs that I really enjoyed, but they came out in 1990, so they're not eligible. Neither are any of the Backstreet Boys or whatever boy band you want to continually refer to that aren't New Kids on the Block.
Hey, John, I'm just thinking of a song now, and I believe this was in the 80s. It was called Doing the Butts. Do you
Yeah,
remember that?
it was a band called, I think the band was EU. I don't know what that stood for, but yeah.
Huh, maybe
Doing the
Europe?
butt. Yeah, funky, funky. It might have been late 80s, early 90s again. I think it's one of those ones that's right on the cusp.
Yeah,
Great, I'm gonna
yeah.
probably get sued for singing that on this recording. So they'll probably get 10 cents from me. So why
Anyway,
would you have included that one?
I would have, and I'm pretty sure that was late 80s because I remember us dancing to that at Bobby McGee's, and me dancing with a friend of mine, and she thought that the song title was Doing It in the Butt.
Wasn't
Anyhow,
wasn't it you that originally thought AC/DC's Girls Got Rhythm was Girl Scout Rhythm?
yes, yes, we were in Burrell, and I was singing it around school, and you were with me, and you're like, "What did you just say?" I'm all Girl Scout Rhythm. You're like, "No, man, that's not the name of the song."
Yeah, I always like when people mess up lyrics. I'm sure I've messed up plenty, but not as bad as the two we just referenced. So there. at least now we got a little of the embarrassment back on you. So I feel a little bit better. But of course, by now everyone shut this stupid thing off and stopped listening to it anyway. So doesn't matter. I think not. Anyway, anything you want to add? Any embarrassment you want to talk about? Now's the time to come clean, Lou.
No, man, I think that that is probably it.
All
It's
right.
probably sufficient.
There you go. Well, guys, we appreciate you watching as always. Thank you so much. We'd love to hear your embarrassment if you're not, not afraid to open up like some people. And talk about, yes, that was a reference to you, Lewis. If you're not afraid to open up and say what songs embarrass you that you really love from the 80s, we'd love to hear about them. And then we're going to make fun of you too. So, I think it's only necessary, right? It has to happen. But anyway,
Absolutely.
all right. Well, we appreciate it. Hopefully, this was cathartic. If we hit some of your favorites, now you know you're not alone in loving Debbie Gibson's "Lost in Your Eyes." But do you have the cassette single? I'm gonna probably say no. But if you have the album, that's probably worse. Just saying. All right, Lou. As always, take us out, brother.
Peace out.
Thank you, guys.